Hello and welcome to episode 216 of Thrive by Additive-Free Lifestyle. We are Tracy and Jo, and we're two sisters who are very passionate about asking questions and seeking advice on things that we don't yet understand. So Thrive is a podcast show to help you lower your toxic load. It will guide you through various stages of your life and give you permission to ask questions and seek advice on things that make you curious. So today's episode is exactly that. We spoke to Lisa from Canine Aromatherapy, and she took us through how to use our essential oils with our dogs. We spoke a little bit about a few other animals as well. She is a wealth of knowledge, like insane in her knowledge of using oils around dogs and pets. But she specifically does talk about dogs because she's Canine Aromatherapy, right? So yeah, let's dive in and hear from Lisa all about using oils with our dogs. Welcome, Lisa. We're super excited to have you on the show today. So let's share a little bit. Now, we've known Lisa for a few years now, so I will get Lisa to introduce herself and share a little bit about you and your passion.
Okay. Well, I'm Lisa, and I've been using essential oils now for, 8 years or so, and I decided to combine my two passions, which is oils and the dogs, because dogs are my thing, and that's how I came up with doing my canine aromatherapy. I've been around dogs for about 20 years now, been showing them, working with them in a kennels, studying them in all sorts of ways, and to bring oils into that is amazing because I love what they can do for our dogs. So, yeah, that's what I do.
Lisa's probably one of the most knowledgeable people. Like if I'm like, can we do this? Lisa's like, yep, like your brain is intense. Like, I don't know how you retain all this information. You're incredible.
Sometimes it worries me. There's so much going in there, but I just love learning it all. And that's what I like to do, is just learn all the information and then share all the information. So
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
That's what I like to do.
Now, Lisa does have an awesome Instagram page as well. So Canine Aromatherapy. Is there an underscore between canine and aromatherapy?
I think there's a dot between canine and aromatherapy.
Okay. All right. We'll link it all into our show notes anyway.
Yeah. Even though I've been using essential oils for probably around the same time that you have, Lisa, I am still a little bit worried sometimes in certain ways of using essential oils around Molly, my chocolate Labrador. And you, like Trace said, you're so knowledgeable. So I'm super excited because it is a question that we get asked a lot. Like, can I use essential oils around? We're going to probably speak more about dogs today, even though you're knowledgeable in other animals as well. So let's answer that question straight away. Can you use essential oils around dogs?
Definitely. You definitely can use essential oils around dogs as long as you are using the pure quality oils. Then that is fine. They're actually beneficial for our dogs. So don't be afraid to use them around your dogs, diffuse them, use them for your dogs, because they're not going to harm them. There's a few that you want to be careful with, but most of them are absolutely fine. And all of the doTERRA oils are fine to diffuse around your dog if you've got a normal healthy dog. So
and does it matter?
No worries.
Okay, awesome. Does it matter on breed and size and what type of dog they are?
Okay, with size, it matters a little bit. So if you've got a smaller dog, you just want to use a little bit less than you normally would. But for a large dog, like a 40-kilo dog, just go for it. Do whatever. I use 6 to 8 drops in my diffuser in my house, and I have big and small dogs in my house and cat. So I diffuse my oils, all of my oils, anytime I want around the house. And as long as my dogs and cat can leave the area if they want to, then that's absolutely fine. You just have to give them that option to be able to leave if they don't like it. So,
and I think that's the key there. Like I often have sometimes 5 diffusers going in my house. So it's pretty much in every room, but my dogs can leave the house, like literally go outside if they need to. So through a doggy door. So that would be the solution there. Obviously they can leave. But mine just lay under the diffusers. They lay next to the diffusers. Mostly in any type of sunshine that they can get. But generally there's a diffuser going in that room. But
Yep.
Like I've got a little dog. Lucy's only about 8 kilos. She's a little bit overweight, but she's old and we just forgive her for that. And then Bodhi comes to visit my grandson. Bodhi comes to visit every day, most days. And he's like a 40-kilo German Shepherd. So I've got 2 very different sized dogs in my house pretty much at least 5 days a week, 7 days a week for Luce, obviously, because she lives with us. Never had an issue. And in fact, every time we go to the vet, especially for Lucy, because she is old, like she's 15 this year, and they are astounded at how healthy she is for a dog of her age and her size. Like she's also had 2 knee replacements. Like she's gone through a fair bit. And she's still incredibly healthy for a dog of her age. And I'm not saying the oils are the magic cure here, but using the oils around her has definitely not hurt her.
No. There's a lot of misinformation out there on Google and things like that, where one person has read something and taken it wrong, spread that information, and now you go on there and it tells you about all the oils that are going to harm your dog and hurt your dog. And most of the stories about the bad reactions actually come from when people have used the synthetic oils or the adulterated oils, and it's whatever else is in there that's actually harming the dog, not the oil itself. So if you're using pure quality oils that you know are 100% what they're supposed to be, then there shouldn't be a problem unless your dog does have some underlying health issue. But even then, you're more likely to help them with the oils than to harm them. So don't be afraid to put your diffuser on with oils in the house, put your diffuser on with your dogs in the house, or even your cats, because even the cats benefit from them as well. So birds, rabbits, whatever you've got in the house, don't be afraid to use your diffuser, because you can still get the benefits and give the benefits to your animals, and they're not going to be harmed by a bit of diffusing in the house, especially, like I said, well ventilated. Let them be able to leave the room, and everything's, they'll leave if they don't like it. So
that can be a little bit hard. Yeah, I was going to say that too, Trace. That can be a little bit harder with a bird because normally they're locked into a cage.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, and we have heard some, awful stories of essential oils and birds. So as long as that door's open and that they can fly around and leave, and like you said, well ventilated as well. So window open or door open, it all should be fine. So
I actually have a friend who does the bird aromatherapy. So she did the aromatherapy course with me, and she actually specializes in birds. And there are a lot of oils that help the birds, but you do just need to, if you've got a bird in the room, just use a little bit less, because they have a very sensitive sense of smell. So you can use them, just use less with a bird, and same with a rabbit, just use a little bit less, because they're smaller animals. So, again, it goes on size. I've got the 5-kilo dog. He's fine. But if I had a tiny little guinea pig in the house, I would probably halve what I was diffusing. Do you know what I mean? So
that makes total sense. I remember years ago watching Better Homes and Gardens, and Dr. Harry used oils it was lavender on a rabbit that was in the house that was having a bit of anxiety problems. So, and he used doTERRA. And I remember it because it went around the doTERRA community that Dr. Harry had used doTERRA oils on the rabbit on Better Homes and Gardens. It was really cool.
Here's the thing that I like to think of is, and this is something I think that you've said in the past, Trace, like how clean was my home before I started using natural products? And this is the same for our animals as well. Like I think about what I wash my floor in, what I wash the dog blankets and towels in, let alone my own clothes, what I diffuse in the home. All of those beneficial low tox solutions are only going to be better for our animals. So when people come to me and they're like, oh, but can I use that on my dog? Well, it's better than like a toxic room spray that you would be spraying around rather than diffusing. Let's sort of think about this in the micro level and go, I never really thought of it like that. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Okay, so you mentioned that there's some oils that you can't use around dogs, or not necessarily can't, but you need to be a little bit more savvy about them. So what are they?
Okay, so they are wintergreen, birch, and tea tree or melaleuca. Now, you can use them to diffuse them because if you're using the quality oils and you know that they're 100%, you can actually diffuse them in small amounts. And this is the thing. We want to avoid them topically because we don't want our animals to lick them. So, if you can use them on yourself, as long as your animal doesn't lick you, and if your dog comes and rubs up next to you after you've put ice blue on or something, you don't need to stress. You just don't want them to lick it off you. So that's why we don't use those on our pets or on our dogs or cats, more likely, because you can use them on larger animals, but you just don't want them to lick it off. So it's just safer to avoid wintergreen, birch, and tea tree because there are other oils that we can use that do just as good a job. And, we don't need to have that little bit of risk in there. So, yeah. But those are all fine for your bigger animals. If you've got horses or goats or anything like that, they're fine with them. You can use all the oils on all your larger animals like the livestock and things like that. So just your little animals like the dogs and cats, really, that you want to avoid those ones on.
So something I do with the dogs before I use the oils on them topically is I will take the lid off and I will just let them smell the lid from a distance. And often they will come closer and they will give it a bit more of a smell. And then if they turn away or make a, kind of cough or sneeze or anything like that, I'm like, oh, that oil is probably not their favorite.
Yep.
And then I'll try something else. But some of them, like Bodhi, will try and lick the bottle. I'm like, no, Bodes, we can't lick the bottle, because he just is into them so much. Vanilla, he would probably drink a bottle if I let him. He just will lick it. And I'm like, you can't lick it, mate. But it goes to show that they're like humans. There's oils that I love and there's oils that I don't particularly love, but there's oils that I know are really, really good for me as well. And we've used the oils for years, like I said, in and around the dogs. And I know I've come to you, Lisa, about Bodhi had some issues with, he's had a few hiccups with walking and running and stuff and a few muscular issues. And I know I've come to you and there's supplements that we can add in, they can put things into their food to really help their internal systems as well as, obviously their hair and skin and stuff as well. So it's, I guess it's understanding all of that too.
Yeah, there really is so many ways you can use them for your dogs to help your dogs. So it's not just using them around the house for you and knowing they're safe, but you can use them to, like you said, to help your dog. So if they've got a skin issue, like a rash or something, you can dilute some lavender or some frankincense and apply it, and that helps to soothe their skin. If they've got, aches and pains, you can give them a massage with some diluted aroma touch over the sore areas. Or you can add in some frankincense or copaiba or the turmeric into their food. If you're adding oils into their food, it needs to be wet food. So then it's like diluting through the food. You can't just add it onto some kibble or something because that's not diluted. Now, that is size dependent. So if you've got a large dog, you can add 1 drop, like a whole drop into their food. But if you've got a small dog, like under 20 kilos, you might want to make a master blend and add 1 drop of a master blend if you're adding in a few things, or just use the toothpick trick where you stick it in and just mix that around in the food either. But that's really good for their brain and their muscles and any aches and pains. And there's so many good things that can do. My larger dogs, I've got Great Danes and Ridgebacks, and my Great Dane is 11 and she gets copaiba and turmeric and frankincense in her food every single day, and she still runs around like a puppy most days. So for an 11-year-old Great Dane, I think that's pretty good. So, it's just, it's good for them all the way through. So, or you can just apply them. Works too.
Now, Lisa, I know you're really big on flea and tick prevention and all of those things, but not the standard stuff that we would get at the supermarket or a vet even. So can you talk us through some of your protocols there for flea and tick prevention?
Yeah, I sure can. So I am very against the chemical flea and tick treatments from losing a dog to one of them. So ever since then, I've researched and tried things out and experimented. And there are oils that can help to repel the fleas and ticks. So we don't actually need to use those chemical horrible things on our dogs. So turmeric is a really big one for repelling ticks. There's been studies done that actually prove that it stops the ticks attaching to the actual skin. So while you might find one walking across the fur, they are less likely to attach once you've got the turmeric on. Peppermint is another one that repels them. Geranium is another one that there's been lots of studies done and has been used for years to help repel ticks. When it comes to fleas, lavender and cedarwood are your best friends. They will repel them. They actually kill flea eggs, which is amazing. I think pretty sure it's been proven that one of those two actually can help to kill the fleas off if you use it often enough. So make up a spray with all of those. I have that recipe, which, I can give to you all. But that is really much better than the chemical ones. So you just put them in some water. You can add a little bit of coconut oil if you want, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, because that's another great natural repellent for these things. Put them in a bottle and shake it up and spray your dog. Now, the general rule is if you can still smell it, it's still working. So I usually spray my dogs twice a week during the, hotter months when the ticks and fleas are around more. But I knock it back to maybe even once a week, if that, during winter when it's not, not as needed. But you can also add things to their food. Feeding a little bit of garlic each day can help from the inside to repel them. Now, you only want a small amount and it needs to be fresh garlic, not garlic powder or garlic salt or anything like that. You want fresh crushed garlic, just half a teaspoon in their food, and that helps from the inside. And diatomaceous earth is also your best friend when it comes to killing them around the home or even on your dog and cat. So you can apply that to your dog and cat. You need to be careful not to get it in their eyes and around their nose and that, because you don't want them inhaling it. But you can put it all over the rest of them, leave it for 3 days, give them a wash, brush them off, reapply, and it really kills the fleas and ticks by dehydrating them and killing them. So there are natural ways. You don't need to use those horrible, horrible things around your home or on your dogs. Use the oils. They're much safer.
Amazing. And so simple. Like, I was thinking to myself, how do I put that on Molly every day? But to have it in a spray bottle just makes so much sense. Like, duh.
Yeah. And some dogs don't like being sprayed because the sound of the spray, scares the hell out of them. I've got one dog that really doesn't like it. So then you just spray it onto your hand and then just wipe your hands over them. Pretty simple. Do you know what I mean? If they don't like the spray, just spritz it off to the side and then just give them a good pat and rub it through. Do that a few times. You mainly want to get it up their legs, up their belly area, and the bits that are going to come into contact with grass if you're going for a walk and stuff like that. But yeah, just keep it out of their eyes and nose. You don't want to put it in there. But you can get it around the ears because the ticks usually like to get up behind the ears. But yeah, it's pretty easy.
Awesome.
I'm assuming you could add those oils into a wash as well, like a bath, like a shampoo. What am I saying? A shampoo.
Yep, definitely. A bit of Castile soap, the liquid Castile soap and water. And I actually put in lavender and cedarwood, and that's what I bath my dogs in. And that's a bit of flea protection, do you know what I mean, while they're in between sprays. But it also helps to kill them off in between times. So, yeah. Definitely.
Shampoo is so oh man, dog shampoo can be so toxic to the animal. And I know that Molly just gets the most horrific eczema if we use any type of dog wash with any type of fragrance or like lots of preservatives. And we have had to strip it right back for her and her skin, and definitely using a homemade body wash shampoo. Why can't I speak either? Shampoo with essential oils in it has been a game changer.
Yeah, it really is much better for their skin and coat to just use the natural stuff. Overwashing can strip the oils out of their skin and make it worse anyway. Also, a lot of people wonder why their dogs have got dandruff, and a lot of the time it's just from not washing out the shampoo properly. That homemade one is quite runny. It does foam up. It does foam up nicely and wash the dog nicely, but because it's a bit thinner, it washes out a lot easier. So you're less likely to end up with all that dandruff afterwards. Excuse me, cat. And you can tailor the oils to what your dog needs. So the cedarwood and lavender are not only great for repelling fleas, but they're great for the skin. They're great for the coat. So you're getting all those other benefits as well. It makes sense to me to use the oils. So.
Oh, it's so awesome. So like we said, you can find Lisa over on Canine Aromatherapy on Instagram. She has oodles of information there. And I know you do consults and stuff as well. If anyone wanted a consult, that you offer out that. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I offer one-on-one consults for people that have issues with their dogs that they're just not able to sort out themselves. I get a lot of itchy dogs coming to me to help sort out their, allergies and things like that. So I actually just get people to book a 15-minute free call with me first so that we can chat and make sure that whatever it is something that I can actually help. And then I just have a few different packages where we have Zoom calls or in person if you're in my area. We have a protocol. We work together to see how we can get these oils to help your dog. So, it's really been,
awesome.
really good. Yeah, it's
you
great
really
to see the results.
You really do know your stuff. I know yeast infections is a huge one when it comes to dogs. And I know Molly suffered a lot, and I was able to come to you and you were able to help me out. So
Awesome.
if you do have any issues, anxiety is another huge one with animals as well. And hyperactivity, like Molly goes completely psycho as soon as you Tracy would attest to it. As soon as you hook that lead on and try and take her for a walk, she just turns into full nut bag. And you've suggested just little things like just putting some lavender oil on her before, like 10-15 minutes before a walk so that you can try and calm her down. Pop a drop on her collar so she can still smell it when you're out. Like so many useful hints and tips that just are so uncomplicated to do. So I really do encourage people, because the vet is expensive.
Oh, yes.
Very expensive. And same with ourselves, same with our animals, is we need to stop trying to have the quick pill, the quick fix. Just let's go to the vet. You only have to go once. Hopefully you can fix my dog forever, and that's it. But it's not, as we know, it's not always like that. So aromatherapy and using essential oils can be a really long-term benefit to the dog's whole entire life.
That's exactly right. I mean, a lot of the time with vets, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of times we do need the vets, and 100%. They are wonderful with what they can do, but a lot of the time they just offer a Band-Aid solution. So when you go in there with your allergies and things like that, they want to fix the symptoms, and a lot of the time they can give you something that might appear to fix those symptoms, but because they're not getting to the root cause of the problem, those symptoms are just going to come back. And usually the medications they give are just making them worse long term. Whereas if you can use natural products to get to the root of the problem and then work slowly to fix it with the natural products, it is much better outcome long term. So definitely, I always go for natural first. That's what I say to people. We try natural first. And if we can't, if we take the time and it can't be fixed, then yes, we certainly can go the medication route. But why not try natural first? You're not going to harm your dog trying it. There's only going to be benefits. So,
and you can use both as well.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep.
We certainly had to do that with Molly's yeast infections. Like there was nothing we could do, and they just went on forever. She was in so much pain for such a long period of time, and we certainly needed to do both. We actually, had to hit her hard with the drugs and the vet, and really eradicate it. But we use natural solutions at the same time, and now moving forward, we've used natural solutions leading on. So you can certainly have both as well.
Definitely. I highly recommend integrated care for your dog. So that's using, our natural holistic methods, but also the vet methods, because they know what they're doing and they've been developed for a reason. But we use them together. That's so much better for our dogs, for us, for everyone. Get the toxins out of your home to give your dog a better start, in the first place, and then go natural when you can. It's so much better. This, like you said, if they've got aches and pains, you can use it. If they've got travel sickness, you can use it. If they're anxious and nervous, if they've got a new sibling coming into the house that they don't like, you can use it for that. if they're aggressive when they're out in public with other dogs, you can help that. There are so many things that we can turn to these oils and natural therapies for first. And a lot of the time they actually work. So it's even better.
Yeah.
Love
That's
that advice.
so awesome, Lisa. Thank you so much for your time today. I really do encourage people to look you up. Head to our show notes and have a look for all the links to your Instagram and your website, etc.
Yeah.
And just really appreciate your time today.
Thank you. It's been great to have a chat. Thank you.
I don't know about anybody else, but I just feel a bit lighter after that episode, knowing that it's okay to use essential oils, again, 100% pure grade therapeutic essential oils on our animals. Necessarily, we don't need to be scared or overthink as much as we sometimes do.
Absolutely. So if this episode has helped you and you know somebody that it can help, please share it with them, because the more that we get this message out there, that lowering our toxic load, not just for us as humans, but also for our animals, is a really, really great message. So again, please share this episode. We would love it if you could give us a review. And obviously you can find all the information on our show notes at Additive-Free Lifestyle /podcast 216. So it's episode 2.
Additive-Free-Lifestyle.com /podcast 216. You missed the .com.
Oh, I missed the .com. All right. Make sure you add the .com, people. Anyway, podcast 216. If you go to our website, you'll find all the information.
Thanks, guys. We'll be back next week with another episode, and we'll talk to you then.